Hello, kindergarten. You guys did such a great job working yesterday. I was really proud of you. Today, we're going to be working on how to finish this lesson. So right now, I'm going to switch over to my camera and you're going to see my bear. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about a word in art. I'm going to write it down and show it to you. It starts with the letter T. And it's called texture. Here's what the word looks like. Texture. Texture is how something feels. Okay, so my hair has texture. I can feel it. My skin has texture. Skin is usually pretty smooth. But if I went outside and I started rubbing on that tree out there, the bark would be bumpy. That's a bumpy texture. If I were to pet a bear, it would be a furry texture. So today we're going to work on making our bear have texture for our viewer. All right, let's get started. You are going to need your project from yesterday. So if you need to push pause and go get your stuff, that's fine. You're going to need your project from yesterday. You're going to need coloring stuff, whether that's crayons or markers. Okay, so go get your things and pause the video. You can always start the video when you get back. Okay, so here's where we left off. And today we're going to talk a bit about our bear before we finish up our AB pattern. You all know how to do your AB pattern. It's just going to take some time to go slowly and work on that. I don't want you rushing through it. Okay, so I'm going to pull out, because I'm working with crayons, I'm going to pull out my brown, and I'm also going to pull out my black. And then, you know what? I actually have a light shade of brown that I'm going to pull out too. And if you don't have a light brown, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to use one. So, with a crayon, and I'm going to flip my project over, I want you to try this too. You can make different colors by how hard you push. If you push really hard, you're going to get a really dark color. If you push less hard, you're going to get a medium color. And if you push really lightly, just barely putting the crayon over the paper, you're going to get a light color. So I said if you don't have a light brown, you don't need one, because you can actually make light brown just by pushing really lightly. So on our bear, I'm going to flip this back over. On our bear, we're going to add some texture. So I'm going to create some little curvy lines around my bear, and I'm pushing kind of hard because I want these puffy little lines to show up even through my coloring. So I'm doing these puffy little lines to make it look like my bear is fluffy. And I'm going to do some on his ear. Don't forget his little ears. Okay. And over here. Okay. Now I'm going to switch to my lighter color, but you could also just push lighter with your regular brown crayon. They both work. And I'm going to start coloring my bear. So I'm going to color my bear, and what you're going to notice is that those lines that we made, and I can color right over the top of them because they're both crayon, they're going to be darker than the rest of my bear. And they're going to make it look like my bear has texture. My bear is going to look soft and fuzzy. So I'm going to come along and I'm going to be coloring, and I'm going to go ahead and pause my video so I can finish. All right, so I got my bear colored, and now I'm going to work on his nose. we left a highlight in the eye, and we're going to do the same thing on our nose by doing a curved line, and then another, and then an across, and that little shape is going to stay white as we color the rest. That's also going to make our nose look wet. Wet things have a reflection, and usually animal noses are a little bit wet. So as I color, I'm kind of trying to stay going the same direction, but I also want to fill in the areas around the edge. Now it looks like my little nose has a reflection of the light. So let's talk about the insides of the ears. I'm going to go back to my darker color. I'm going to add a few more little textures, and then I am going to color in my bear's ears with the darker brown. And I may have to go over those little texture lines with my black because they may not show up as well. Yesterday I thought I might use a pink color, but I really like this darker brown on top. Okay, so that's how I chose to do his ears. I'm going to come back with my black, and I'm just going to add a little bit of those texture lines to my bear. All right, so we're also going to add a texture coming down from the sky. We're going to add a snowflake. So I'm going to grab a blue color, and in the back of my background, I'm going to show you how to draw a snowflake. They're really easy. First, I do down and across, just like a plus sign. Next, I'm going to do the letter V. I'm going to go slant in, slant out on this line, slant in, slant out on that line, slant in, slant out again, and one more time. Slant in, slant out. A cute little snowflake. I'm going to add one over here. Slant in, the letter V, the letter V. If you want to turn your paper as you do the letter V, if that helps you, you absolutely can turn your paper. So I'm going to add a few of these here and there. I can also change how big or small I add them. So I'm going to do a little one right over here in the corner. This is my little one. And I'm just going to add a few of those in the background. Once I get my border finished, my project will be all done. I hope you enjoyed your texture, which is how something feels, texture teddy bear. Bye.